Hey Greg, this is Philip. I just gonna make a tutorial here for you. So this is the way that I have it formatted correctly, and you're probably familiar with this, but the scroll up and down on mouse look is up and down. If you hit Control, it's side to side, and Control Shift, and it's in and out on where the mouse is. So you can it's kind of nice. You can just move it around. Sorry, it's Control Alt where the mouse is. Okay, so going over here, this is the way I do it. There, that's the 300 by 300 cards. Here are all of my glyphs, which I have out here, structured so that the ones that we use are on artboards, because then you can export artboards and rename them. And then that's over here. I can move this or minimize that, I guess. Let's see. So your artboard list is over here on the upper right, and I think it's Shift V. No, that's not it. It's not Shift V. View artboards. Maybe it's Shift O. Yeah, it's Shift O. Okay. So Shift O gives you artboards escape out. So you can then see which ones are which and the dimensions of them and all that stuff. You can change those. So basically these are 128 by 128, and the glyphs are certain sizes. That was what I found online to be the best. So anyway, and you can rename them all, and that way when you export them they save the same. These are the 300 by 450, and I have them lined up. A few tips before we create our own. It's important to so when you select an artboard, it's important to realize that the 00 starts on that for that artboard on the measurements. So like over here, this one's 00, and you can see on the top and left. So 0, 0, upper left. That's important for putting the picture at the right spot. 0, 0, upper left. And it happens that way for all of them, no matter where they are. So that was something that threw me off as far as positioning for a little while, and I couldn't figure that out. So I'll close these. I don't think I've made any changes to these, and we'll start afresh. We do File, New. Hold on one second. Okay, buddy. Love you. Coming up soon. 5 minutes. Okay, so I have it. The most recent one I've made is 300 by 300. So that's File, New. You obviously know how to do that probably. Custom. You can see the custom sizes that I've done. Recent ones here. Orientation, all that. So 300 by 300. You can set the number of artboards and all that. So let's go 3 in a row. Let's just do that orientation. So weirdly, it's not going to let me change it because its pixels are equal. Okay, here we go. So I selected 3, and the first thing I notice is that, hey, I don't want to do that. So I want them in a row and not in this formation. So Shift O, and I can drag this artboard up. It'll give you, usually it'll give you like equidistant stuff here. So I don't have my rulers on, so I want to show my rulers because that's really important for me. You can drag down, and then you can actually select your rulers. Go back to the select tool, select and delete rulers independently. So I have used this in the past to measure distances, and then it will auto set those somewhat. So it's important. Also, one of the things I learned is that when you get artboards like this, if you get them out of order, it can be a little weird until you rename them to export. So you just go over to the top right and select artboard and Greg 1, and it renames it so that when you want to export that, File, Export for Screens, it's going to show you, it'll start with assets, but then assets and artboards are the two types, and it'll show you can select clear selection or select all, select 1, Greg 1. So then you don't have to go through the process of renaming because it'll export it as that. So let's tackle this right here. You can add a scale. Showed you this before, and it remembers the last one that you did, so you can export and then obviously know where to put them and everything like that. The file is right here, that file right there. So I usually, this is safe, so I usually just don't even look at that because I have them put in the same spot. But this obviously you can change the type. JPEG 50 is usually the one. 50% is usually the one that I'm using recently. So an asset, like let's draw a triangle without fill, just a path. Essentially the border and the fill color are up here. If you hold shift, it gives you the hex color. If you just click down, it gives you pre-made colors. So I almost always use shift, and 00A6 C6 is our blue color. So that'll fill that. And then you can see here, I think it's E7AA B1 or something is another color. Anyway, that's the border. That's not right, but you can see that it made a border color here, a pink. So if I wanted to export that, you could do it this way, actually. I can do export selection right here. I could also save it to my library, that shape. I've done that before if you want to keep it. One of the most important things is, though, when you import a picture, so we'll tackle that right now. If I go and grab a picture from my files, let's see here, Knowing God, files, graphical art production, unpaid good stock, and let's just grab this Augustine washed out photo. Okay, so the first thing is I used to scale out and draw down, but the best way to do this is to just fit it. Since those are 300, I want 300 width. Okay, and then it will drop in here, and you see that it intersects, so that's right. The first thing that we notice is it's not lined up. Sometimes it is weird. You see as I get closer that it's not quite right. Well, I drop it over and it looks right. However, the best way to organize this is to put my alignment at the right spot, and that's the X and Y. And I still fully don't understand how it grabs this, but I know that it's 150 on the X. I think it's where it ends, but I don't know. Maybe you can tell me, or sorry, where the midpoint is. Something like that, but it looks like I need to go to 90 here. Oh, no, it should be maybe 85 on the Y. Close. Whoops, that's 95. Let's go 92. No. 93 pixels. Okay, looks like it's 94 pixels. So that's something I learned that would be good. Now, another thing about this is if I want to mask this, that's the important thing. So I don't know why, but you can only do it once. You can also do a clipping mask with an object if you really want to. Draw it over, select them both like this. Say I want to make a clipping mask. Go to the select, shift select, right click, and make clipping mask. So then it'll only show the portion that is in the triangle. So let's undo that and that. Now, to make a mask of a normal, which means just to frame it right, it's like cropping, sorry. It's like cropping. They just call it a clipping mask. It allows you to do that once per picture. So if I wanted this to be a certain height, which I do, 300 by 150 on my cards, what I do is that, and then you can go, what you can do is you can either change the actual dimensions, which is helpful sometimes because sometimes you don't really care if you miss a half a pixel, or you can redo it perfectly by zooming in, Control Z that, and then zoom in, make it clipping. Yeah, one sec, Greg. Yeah. Okay, one sec. I can mask it, and then I can drag it down, and the pixels are a little easier usually to fit correctly. I don't know why this one is having some trouble at 0.75, but you can do that and then save it. Now, if you want to permanently save that, I believe that you can expand your selection and it will save that perfectly. I forget exactly how to do that. So I would drag that up here and put it halfway and get it where I want it with the left and right keys. It's important to go forward and back on that because sometimes it looks right on one screen and wrong on another. So once I do that, it's kind of like PowerPoint where I can select and move to the back. Yeah, I can bring it forward one, bring it backward one, or bring it all the way to the front or send it all the way to the back. But that one's going to be on the back because of that. So I've got to go. I'll do a second tutorial from this point later. However, that's importing a picture, creating a document, and getting the picture to the right size, and clipping, masking it, or cutting it, or whatever you want to say. Yeah, that's that. I will do the second one in a little bit. Thanks. Bye.